Because it also depends what court you're on, that you feel the noise and things.
So the other day with Alex Eala, that's been a talk.
I'm really happy to advance to the next round. Obviously, it's not in the way I wanted it to end.
Indian Wells Tennis Garden opened its gates on March 4th, 2026, and something felt different before a single ball was struck. Fans flooded practice court 6 on day 1, holding selfie sticks above the crowd, pressing against adjacent fencing just for a glimpse. Staff scrambled, not over scheduling, but because crowd volume around one player's training session had overwhelmed expectations at the venue the tennis world calls the 5th Grand Slam. That player is world number 31, Alexa, 20 years old. Indian Wells debut, seeded 31st. 10 wins already banked in 2026, including a straight sets dismantling of world number 8 Jasmine Paolini in Dubai just 2 weeks ago.
Another wonderful win for Alex Eala. Thank you, Jasmine, she says. Paolini gracious as ever in defeat. The former champion is out. Alexandra Eala.
This is going to go down the wire, but because of the week off from Eala, I think that she might be able to cause the upset here. And Paolini is not playing that great. And unlike the Alexandrova match in Abu Dhabi where Eala got overpowered, that's not going to be the problem here. So I'm going to go with Eala on a list.
Then, Eala's Filipino army took over California. Nearly 2 million Filipinos call California home, the largest diaspora concentration in the entire United States. They descended on the Coachella Valley with coordinated group sections, Philippine flags, and chants of "Lean Alex" that cut through air normally reserved for tennis royalty. Even Coco Gauff acknowledged it publicly. "I'd like to thank Alex for bringing a new demographic to the sport."
I know you were mostly supporting Alex, but I have to say it is great to be on a crowded court. I've played this tournament for many years, and to see the stadium full, it means a lot. And also, like to thank Alex for bringing a new demographic to the sport. I really appreciate it.
And Rafael Nadal, the man who built her in Mallorca from age 13, is watching something he couldn't have fully anticipated at this scale. The entire tennis world is shocked. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button right now. This story is only getting bigger.
This was definitely one of the bigger Filipino turnouts. Also, New York was huge. It also depends what court you're on, that you feel the noise and things.
These tournaments are such great experiences for me, especially playing in front of the best crowd ever. And
So what exactly is Eala walking into here? To understand what is happening at Indian Wells right now, you need to go back 14 months. March 2025. A 19-year-old from Quezon City walked onto a court in Miami ranked number 140 in the world, holding a wild card nobody particularly noticed. Alex Eala had won just 2 WTA-level matches in her entire career going into that tournament. Back-to-back tour wins had never happened before. Not once. What followed left the tennis world struggling to find the right words.
Filipina tennis ace Alex Eala has officially broken into the WTA top 40. Alex Eala is set to compete in the singles and doubles events.
with energy like that, you don't get tired, so it was good.
And Alex, so good to have you out here for the first time. How special was that?
Having too much crowd on this or any other tennis tournament is a very good problem to have.
Eala edged 2017 French Open champion Yelena Ostapenko 7-6, 7-5 in the second round. Then the reigning Australian Open champion Madison Keys, ranked number 5, went down 6-4, 6-2 in the third. Then came the match that changed everything. World number 2 Iga Swiatek, 5-time Grand Slam winner, beaten 6-2, 7-5 in the quarterfinals. Swiatek won just 2 points on her second serve the entire match. Eala broke the pole 8 times. After the win, Rafael Nadal posted on social media, "Congratulations, Alex. What a great win for you and for the Philippines." He had trained this player in Mallorca from the age of 13, and even he seemed taken aback by what was unfolding on the Florida hardcourt.
Congratulations, Alex. What a great win for you and for the Philippines.
Eala lost in the semifinals to Jessica Pegula, but the damage, in the best possible sense, was already done. A ranking that had sat at number 140 jumped to number 75 overnight. the first Filipino in history to reach a WTA 1000 semifinal. The first wild card ever to beat 3 Grand Slam champions in straight sets at a single WTA event. A nation of over 100 million people had found its tennis player. That Miami moment is what built the Filipino army now taking over California at Indian Wells.
So young and she's just coming through, so and obviously the first couple rounds the schedule is so packed.
The word fanbase does not cover what has attached itself to Alex Eala over the last 12 months. In Melbourne at the 2026 Australian Open, Court 6 held just 1,500 seats. Every seat was taken. Lines stretched far beyond the entrance. Fans who couldn't get in pressed against barriers just to hear the crowd noise. The Filipino community in Melbourne had caused what witnesses described as a traffic jam around the outer courts. Eala lost a tight 3-setter to Alicia Parks 0-6, 6-3, 6-2, and the online backlash from some sections of the fanbase was intense enough that Rafael Nadal publicly stepped in. Kim Clijsters, 4-time Grand Slam champion, described it on her Love All podcast. Nadal had spoken out about being a little bit of a protector for her after the defeat. Think about that for a second. A fanbase so enormous, so emotionally invested, that the man who built the player felt the need to defend her publicly from her own supporters.
I'm a person, and I feel like, people will like you for who you are if you are true to yourself. Hi everyone, I just wanted to come on here and thank every single one of you for your support, taking the time and effort out of your day to be there and cheer me on with the other girls. It means so much, especially at this time of the year.
In Abu Dhabi the following month, word spread that Eala had been spotted near the tournament grounds. Within minutes, crowds gathered behind barricades. Fans carrying "Let's Go Eala" posters and Philippine flags packed the space between the main stadium and the outer courts. Dubai was the same story. Stands filled with Filipino supporters. A noise level that rattled opponents and drew attention from every corner of the tennis press. Retired ATP players Sam Querrey and Steve Johnson discussed it on the Nothing Major podcast, with Querrey asking directly whether Eala might already be the biggest draw in women's tennis right now.
Oh, all the emotions are coming because the tension was so high, especially during that second set. She's a great opponent, obviously being top 10 and a former champion here. So to be able to compete with her at this level is a great achievement for me.
Johnson's response: venues in Australia and Dubai had been standing room only, and the attention around each tournament Eala enters has been insane and massive. California was always going to be the flashpoint. Nearly 2 million Filipinos call this state home, the largest Filipino diaspora community anywhere in the United States. Los Angeles, San Diego, the Bay Area. They didn't watch from afar. They organized coordinated group ticket purchases, arranged travel, and descended on the Coachella Valley Desert with flags and chants for a tournament that had never seen anything like this particular brand of crowd energy. Coco Gauff, who experienced that energy firsthand in Dubai, publicly acknowledged what Eala has built. "I'd like to thank Alex for bringing a new demographic to the sport. I think it's great for tennis."
Tennis right now.
Yes.
Is she bigger than Sabalenka? Is she bigger than Coco?
Dude, it's crazy. She's having the same effect that Fonseca was having, on the men's side last year in Miami.
It's like Fonseca, but I think it's bigger than Fonseca.
It is. Yeah, it is.
The Doha, crowds were insane for her last week.
Yeah.
Correct.
She's definitely one to watch, obviously because she's so good, but just for the atmosphere. You want to tune into her matches just to see what it's like on the court.
There's got to be a little jealousy maybe from some of the women. The girls coming in, she's not top 10, biggest star in the world.
A quote from a 2-time Grand Slam champion says more about the scale of this movement than any attendance figure could. But the crowd story is only one half of the picture. The tennis story is the other, and it is more complicated. Indian Wells has the slowest hard courts on the professional tour. According to Tennis Abstract data, the surface speed rating at Indian Wells sat at 0.73 in 2025, slower than the majority of clay court events. Eala's biggest results have almost exclusively come on fast or medium-fast surfaces. Miami, where the surface speed sits at 1.18, is almost entirely different conditions. Guadalajara, where Eala won her first WTA 125 title in 2025, was fast and high altitude. The 2026 Qatar Open, one of the tour's slowest hard-court surfaces, ended in a first-round exit. This is the genuine tactical question hanging over the Indian Wells campaign. The slow, high-bouncing desert courts demand patience, rally construction, and a reliable serve. Eala's serve has been the most scrutinized part of her game throughout her rise. In practice sessions at the Indian Wells Tennis Garden leading up to the tournament, observers specifically noted extended work on serve mechanics alongside training partner Laura Siegemund, a deliberately chosen partner given the German's experience at the elite level on all surfaces. The draw itself doesn't offer much comfort either. Eala opens in the second round against the winner of Diana Yastremska versus Zhang Shuai. Yastremska, ranked number 52, has a career high of number 21 and carries aggressive baseline power. Zhang, ranked number 62, is a two-time Grand Slam doubles champion with decades of hard-court experience. Eala holds a 1-0 head-to-head against Yastremska, a 6-1, 6-2 win at Eastbourne in June 2025, but has never faced Zhang in a professional match. Get through that, and the draw opens up a potential third-round collision with world number 4 Coco Gauff. Their last meeting was in Dubai just 2 weeks ago. Gauff won 6-0, 6-2, a scoreline that raised honest questions about the gap still separating Eala from the tour's genuine elite. After the Dubai loss, Eala was direct about it. "I think I have time now for reassessment, regrouping, and taking a small break to build again. That's one of the things that can bridge the gap between myself and those top 5 players." The stakes around the ranking are equally real. Eala accumulated 390 ranking points from her Miami semi-final run last year. That 52-week cycle is fast approaching, meaning those points will drop off the rankings table whether or not Indian Wells delivers a deep run. A strong showing in California cushions that drop significantly. A first-round exit makes the upcoming Miami defense considerably more pressured. Rafael Nadal built the Rafa Nadal Academy in Manacor, Mallorca in 2016. The foundation of that institution was never simply about producing tennis players. It was about producing athletes with a particular mentality, disciplined, respectful, willing to grind through the unglamorous years before the spotlight arrives. Eala arrived at that academy around 12 or 13 years old, a scholarship kid from Quezon City carrying raw talent and a junior resume that included winning the prestigious Les Petits as tournament at just 12. Over the years that followed inside that facility, a game was built around a left-handed forehand capable of ending points outright, an inside-out return game that takes time away from the biggest servers on tour, and a competitive instinct that kept Eala functional in the most pressured moments. Nadal graduated Eala in 2023, with Swiatek herself present as a guest at the ceremony. 2 years later, those two were facing each other in a quarterfinal on one of the biggest hard-court stages in the sport. The story writes itself. What Nadal could not have fully designed or anticipated is the cultural phenomenon that has accompanied the tennis. A 115 million person nation with no prior history of producing a major tennis player suddenly has a 20-year-old seated at the 5th Grand Slam, and the community has mobilized in a way that is genuinely without precedent on the WTA Tour. Kim Clijsters compared the adulation Eala navigates to living the life of Michael Jordan in the Philippines. Jeannie Bouchard invoked Taylor Swift when describing the pull Eala has on crowds globally. Novak Djokovic, heading into a Melbourne final, paused to discuss what Eala means for Filipino tennis. This is not routine rising star territory. This is something that hasn't been seen before in tennis.
It was a massive spot to be in for such a young talent, to have a sold-out crowd completely behind her.
Eala from the Philippines could be the next big thing in pro tennis.
This is the goal, to do well on the WTA Tour. I'm super proud of what I was able to accomplish, but the end goal is to win Slam.
And it is playing out right now in the California desert at a tournament where Eala has never competed until this week. The Filipino army is here. The tennis world is watching. And the man in Mallorca, who spent 5 years building this athlete, is observing a movement that has grown well beyond anything a training program could have planned for. That is why the tennis world is shocked. Whether Eala can convert that energy into deep runs on the slowest courts in the game, starting with that second-round match on March 6th, is the question that makes this story worth following every single day from here. If this video gave you something the mainstream tennis coverage isn't offering, drop a comment below with your prediction for how far Eala goes at Indian Wells. The conversation down there is where the real analysis happens on this channel. Hit the like button if the Filipino army deserves the recognition, and subscribe if you want every chapter of this story covered the moment it breaks. Because between Indian Wells, the looming Miami points drop, And what could be a defining sunshine double, the next 3 weeks in Eala's career are going to move fast. Don't miss it.